Hello, my friends. My name is Gerdes. This is the Daily Brief. Today's going to be a little bit longer because we have a lot to cover. I want to start with the losses of the Russians in Ukraine. 900 off the battlefield, 19 tanks. Now remember, replacement value is 3 to 4, 27 armored vehicles, 38 artillery pieces, 69 vehicles and fuel tanks. So it's still pretty hot on the battlefield. You can tell just by those statistics. Okay, overnight, Ukraine forces destroyed 35 out of 39 kamikaze drones launched by Russia into Ukraine overnight. Now, the Ukrainians were answering back with that as well. Ukraine drone reportedly sets fire to oil depot in Russia. Governor of Russia's southwestern Kursk region has said that one person had been killed as a result of Ukrainian shelling, and a fire broke out at a local oil depot due to a Ukrainian drone strike. Okay. As a result of the direct hit from a shell, a residential building caught fire and a local woman died. Okay, so I don't know if that shell was aberrant and should have been somewhere else or what exactly that was, but the way that they frame it is like, you know, those Ukrainians are always trying to kill these innocents in apartment buildings. Note the tense of this, or the language of this. Ukrainian drone fell and caught fire on the grounds of the oil depot, as if the drone was trying to go somewhere else. It was trying to attack an apartment building, but it happened to fall on an oil depot, and that's what caused the fire. So fire and emergency services were at the scenes. Now, this is nothing new. This happened last week as well. Last week, the same governor claimed that a gasoline storage depot had been set alight by Ukrainian drone. And in February, it was reported that a large fire at an oil depot near Kursk was caused by a Ukrainian drone. So the wisdom here would be to not be anywhere near an oil or gasoline refinery or depot, because it seems like bad things seem to happen. Drones just tend to fall on those places. Now, I talked about this in 3 big stories last night, where the British talked about how Ukrainian drone strikes on oil and gas depots and refineries and such have caused the Russians to not have enough to be able to export internationally, so they created a law actually recently to make sure that they had enough domestically. Now, a number of you had comments about that, and yeah, you're right. This isn't the only piece of the puzzle, and they've done it before. They did that last year because farmers needed the gas in order to plow more than they needed to export it. But nonetheless, this attack is helping deprive Russia of, not just this attack, but these attacks are helping deprive Russia of needed revenue. So something's working. Okay, massive blaze broke out. This is different than the one I was just talking about. Massive blaze broke out on a gas pipeline in Russia's Khanty-Mansi autonomous Orag at night. So if I look that up on the map, I see that it's somewhere out here. I don't know where exactly that is out here, but it's somewhere out there just above Kazakhstan, and so that's good ways in. Probably not a drone strike, probably somebody set fire to it, but that's what's going on there. So yeah, gas pipeline going down. Anytime that they can attack these things, in fact, if they can get to the actual source of it, all the better. It'll be some time before they have the ability to do that. Okay, UK Defense Ministry, Ukraine increasing fortifications along the front line. This is unfortunate that they didn't have this together before, that they didn't have the fortifications lined up behind Avdiivka like they should have. They just had to retreat. They weren't expecting that they were going to run out of ammunition like they did and had to withdraw. But to the degree that they can get this worked out, I know defensive line, you don't want to hear defensive line, but this is important. That's what they're doing. They're digging in so that they don't lose anything else. Ukraine ramps up defensive lines and fortifications. Again, same kind of article. Okay. Now, I briefly talked about this yesterday, and I said in my 3 big stories, this is not one of the 3 big stories. 3 big stories is to talk about, like, these are the game-changing kind of stories, and my daily brief is just talking about what's happening every day. Pope raises eyebrows after saying Ukraine should have the courage of the white flag and negotiate with Russia. I don't know if it was poor choice of words or if he's actually meaning what it sounds like he's meaning. I read what he said and I was like, I just didn't understand. Like, why would you talk to Ukraine about this, but not about to Russia about this. Okay, so Michael McFall asked the question, why doesn't the Pope ask Putin to withdraw his occupying forces? Yeah, that's a good question. My comment was, look, I'm not Catholic, so I want to be careful and respectful. And I think we all should be here. Like, I know there are many of you that are, let's say, atheist or agnostic that don't care. But for those that actually care about this, don't offend them in trying to understand what's going on here. And same thing, if the shoe was on the other foot and somebody wasn't religious, you don't offend them just because you want to make a point. I'm not Catholic, so I want to be careful and respectful, but I don't understand what the Pope Francis comment about the white flag in Ukraine. Why not tell Russia to stop murdering Ukrainians? Little help? So I'm asking that sincerely. If you can answer and explain to me what he's trying to accomplish, I would really like to know what that is. Okay, this is an interesting video, BBC. Now, just bear with me and we'll talk about some commentary afterwards. BBC News. Valery Zaluzhny severance package totaled $53 million. That seems pretty high. It seems unbelievably high, but here we go. Bellingcat experts have learned details of the resignation of the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny, along with information about the appointment of Valery Zaluzhny to the post of ambassador of Ukraine to the United Kingdom. The data on the severance package given to the former commander-in-chief appeared. Bellingcat sources reported that Zaluzhny was unofficially paid $53 million. The office of the president of Ukraine is of the opinion that the financial compensation is part of a deal between Zelensky and Zaluzhny. According to internal agreements, Valery Zaluzhny renounces his political ambitions in Ukraine. Wow. So, I mean, this is BBC, apparently, and he's renouncing political ambition, so it looks pretty shady, right? Meanwhile, the appointment of Valery Zaluzhny to the post of ambassador to the UK might be a plot of the British intelligence agencies. Thus, the partners will manage to preserve a significant political figure in Ukraine once the collapse of Ukrainian political power becomes irreversible. So maybe that's what they're bracing up against, and that's BBC News. Or is it? It's not BBC News. Another fake Bellingcat BBC video has emerged. I'm truly confused about who this is actually for. None of these get any traction, even in the rabidly pro-Russian circles. Okay, but when I saw this yesterday, before it was then confirmed as a fake, I thought, wow, that seems kind of shady. But wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? That just seems like it would be bizarre for them to make that kind of error of doing this sort of thing. To, like, why would you risk losing your partners over this? Oh, because maybe Zelensky wants to keep his place. But that's not like what Zelensky does. The guy stands in sight of Russia with the Greek ambassador or Greek prime minister. The guy goes to the front lines. He's not, this doesn't fit. And so I thought that, so I suspended showing this for a day, even though it said BBC, and I was like, well, I don't have time to track down the source, so let me see it, and sure enough, it was a fake video. So that's where we are. So now these fake videos, they get seen as not fake, but that doesn't mean that repeaters, a McGregor or Redacted or somebody isn't going to show or say something from these fake videos later on. Okay, Russian student gets jail term after naming Wi-Fi network glory to Ukraine. What are you so terrified about that just the word Slava Ukraini would earn you jail time? Like, how terrified must you be of the Ukrainians if just naming your Wi-Fi router that gets you a jail term? So I thought, well, that would be interesting. Slava Ukraini and post. Okay, so anybody who wants to answer me, I'm here on Twitter, and you know what the reply is, right? And you can put it in the comments below if that's what you want to do as well. Last little bit, yesterday I put out this video about how to contact Mike Johnson's office. I've done this before about how to write your congressman and also how to write your senator. Here's how to contact Mike Johnson's office. The number's right there. You can call. If you call on the weekend, you can just leave a message. You don't have to talk to anyone. And please watch that video, pass that video along, share that video so that that people can actually contact and hopefully put some pressure directly on Mike Johnson's office to put that bill out on the floor. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the subscribes, and thank you for being the kind of person that cares about Ukraine.